Well, I'm joined now by Adam Chapman, a heating industry expert and the CEO of a company that helps consumers to become more energy efficient and then save some money on their heating bills. Adam, thanks so much for joining us. You've seen the news as much as we have. People might have thousands more on their bills. What can they do to make sure that bill is as low as it possibly can be?
Well, there's a lot of information out there, and unfortunately, it is very confusing. You'll often hear the obvious, easy stuff like turn your thermostat down on the wall, or insulate your cylinder and put in your loft insulation. But there's extra sort of stuff that's kind of talked about, which may or may not be true. For example, turn off unused rooms. That could be true in some scenarios, not true in others. There's examples of where we should turn on your heating for an hour in the morning and then an hour in the evening. And yes, that may be true in some scenarios, but again, not true in others. So the best thing we can really do as both heating engineers and consumers is to educate ourselves as to how the technology works so we can decide what's best for our scenario and our specific home type. And that's what our channel does, our YouTube channel and our
But obviously you've talked about people educating themselves on technology and the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Some people don't use YouTube. Some people are older. They might be in their 80s wondering about their bills and wondering for really simple, practical tips that they can have, which doesn't mean they have to learn about new technology. What can you say to them?
Yeah, okay, so we do have practical kind of tips and stuff. First would be to turn your boiler flow temperature down. Now, usually on the front of your boiler, you'll have a little dial that will indicate the flow temperature that it comes through your radiators. You really want to try and turn that down as much as possible. Now, again, there are issues here. For example, if you have a boiler that has a separate hot water cylinder, you can't turn it down too low or you won't get hot water. So there's little caveats like that. Really, though, they should be speaking to their heating engineer and making sure their heating engineer is fully trained to understand this sort of stuff, which unfortunately isn't the case typically. Our industry has fallen behind. I mean, I think we need to put more sort of onus on heating engineers to take responsibility on behalf of the older generation to help them. There's obviously easier stuff as well, you know, insulate your cylinder and things like that.
How much does that cost?
Insulating cylinder. So insulating cylinder, well, that will probably cost you about £30 for a jacket to put over your cylinder, something like that.
And how much would that save? Sorry to jump in.
Yeah, that might save you £150 a year or something like that. And another kind of probably quite a good tip would be to get a weather compensation controller. So this would automatically turn down your flow temperature for you. When you turn down your boiler flow temperature, what happens is it extracts extra heat out of the boiler fumes before they disappear outside. Again, that would take an engineer though. The other thing you could probably do as a consumer is turn down your hot water temperature. If you've got a combination boiler, which is where you don't have an additional tank, if you turn down your flow temperature, say 40 degrees, which is typically the temperature you shower at, it will be a bit more efficient rather than turning it up to 60 and then blending it with cold water to cool it back down. So there's lots of sort of little nips and tricks that you can use.
Showers, not baths?
Showers, not baths, typically, yeah. Low flower shower heads, typically, you know, these rain shower heads, they need to sort of be banned really because it's wasteful with water and heat.
Really? So
the higher volume water that comes through, obviously, the more water that's missing you and the heat that's just being pulled down the plug.
Obviously, we're speaking to you for some of these tips, but I think, isn't it important to say that these are not going to get gas energy bills back down to what they were? What kind of mitigation can you offer, despite the fact that their bills will go up no matter what you tell people to do?
There isn't if bills are going up, bills are going up. The only thing we can do is little sort of efficiency nips and tricks. Unfortunately, the electricity prices are tied to gas at the moment still. So, and this isn't done at the supplier end, this is done back at the wholesale end. So the minute that's kind of delinked, then hopefully electricity prices come down, then heat pumps become all of a sudden very, very viable and people could start considering paying old prices then, especially if they insulate as well.
Adam Chapman, we really appreciate your time. Thanks so much.